The following is a presentation of Muddy River Sports.
Chris Duerr, we are fully into October, which means we have postseason stuff going on. We have on every level. We got huge college football games, especially for our alma mater this week.
Huge. Maybe is this the biggest Mizzou game
In
of
a
our
while.
lifetimes?
No,
Okay.
it's not.
But it is a battle of two top 15 teams.
It is.
At Faurot Field.
At Faurot Field.
With implications that if Mizzou pulls this off, this has a chance
Yes.
to be a year as special as what, the Chase Daniel year?
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much. And so we'll get more into that in
Okay.
just a moment. But welcome to Mud Brothers, a Muddy River Sports podcast brought to you by CDS Office Technologies. He's Chris Duerr. I'm Matt Schuckman. And it is October, my favorite month of the year.
I actually had this conversation with my wife this week. She asked me, you always get excited about October and November.
Yes.
Which is your favorite sports month? And because we get everything all at once,
Yeah.
and you know I'm a big NBA guy because the
You
NBA
are.
is going to start at the end of the season, and as a Sacramento Kings fan, this is the only month I still have hope.
I was hoping and praying that we would get through at least one more episode without a Sacramento Kings reference, because I know it's over after that.
It is, and I'm sorry. But this is the one season I have hope. Although I have no hope this season. I hope it all unravels and we get a high draft choice.
My sport of choice in the winter professionally
Yes.
is NHL.
Okay, get it.
And I think the Blues could be pretty good this year.
So I actually am now much more engaged in hockey because I have a nephew who's really, really good.
Yeah.
And the funny thing about this with the Duerr family is now my brother, who was never a huge professional sports fan, my mother actually follows the NHL.
Wow.
My dad got super into it. And it's just like they all found their niche sport of choice.
So you've got a family member who's good at hockey.
Yes.
You've got a family member who's pitching professionally for the New York Mets.
That's all the talent in the Duerr clan. That
What
exists.
happened to you?
I'm horrible. I'm a flat-footed offensive lineman who could never get above 225 in high school.
Okay, you and I have both had the opportunity to be out at different events most recently.
Yes.
Watching, and this week I was at the QHS Q&D girls tennis matchup.
Okay, which is fun.
Which is fun, and the girls seem to really enjoy the day. And I forgive me, QHS and Q&D girls tennis, because I don't remember the exact title of their, Four Hands Against Cancer or
Sure,
whatever the title is. But it's a cool thing they do.
Awesome thing to do.
It's an awesome thing they do every year. I love the support this community does for events like that. But these girls seem to have a lot of fun, and some of them can hit some mean shots.
Yeah.
Some wicked shots.
Tennis has always been, for me, from a videography standpoint, the hardest sport to shoot solo, because usually it's done with multiple cameras.
Right.
And I can't replicate that, and it's really hard not to make it look like ping pong with the camera doing this and that and this. So it's always been I enjoy watching the sport, but always one of my biggest professional frustrations.
I really enjoy shooting photos at tennis matches.
You do such a good job with that.
And to me, it's a lot of fun because if I set myself up correctly or get in the right angle, I can get some good shots of the ball hitting the racket.
And when
that
you
kind of
catch the
stuff.
perfect shot, there's a satisfaction to that.
Oh, without a doubt. And I think you and I have talked about this more probably over the last couple months than we ever had before because, well, obviously we're working together every day now. But I know when you get a highlight that you really like, you get excited.
I do, and it's always been that way because I'm not naturally an artistic person.
Yeah.
It's my one form of art. Much like when you picked up a camera, because you've always been so good with writing, it was a totally new avenue for you.
Lord, and it's changed me entirely.
Yeah.
Because I absolutely love it now.
And become obsessive about it, don't you?
Yes, in many ways. For example, when I first started shooting photos, it was click, 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 click. Okay, when I get back to the office, I'll see what I got. Now it's, hey, there's a play there. Oh, click, click. Oh, I think I got it. And then you thumb through real quick. Oh, it's blurry. Darn it. Okay.
Yeah.
Or, ooh, I think it's sharp. I can't wait to look at it when I get home. But I took 1,400 images Saturday at the QU football game. but I knew when I went back to edit which ones I wanted to go look at.
Okay.
I had that memory bank of, hey, remember that play, because that's one you think you got a good one of.
Sure, and that's part of what I think part of our job that becomes second nature that probably people don't realize.
Yeah.
By the same token, I can't remember what's on the honey-do list at home most days. So yes, I can remember with great clarity every play that I watched in a football game, but ask me to, clean up the house, I'm not very good at that.
But right now we're in the throes of the Illinois high school golf postseason. Missouri is starting for the girls here in the fall, but state tournaments this weekend in Bloomington Normal and in Decatur. Quincy Notre Dame won both sectionals, boys and girls, so they're both advancing to state. Pittsfield's going to state on the boys' side, and Macomb girls are going to state on the girls' side.
Two nice surprises.
Yes, and we've got some individuals going as well. With that in mind, because you've shot some golf, especially recently with regionals and sectionals, is there a course you like to shoot at, or a course that you just really enjoy?
From a standpoint of, there are a couple of ways to look at that. I like courses that yield themselves to producing storylines. So courses that are either really easy to post low numbers, or courses that are super hard that challenge you to post numbers that if you jump up and do some of the things that you've done. I remember during the throes of Luke Guthrie, you'd go to Alton, and if you could get, Luke could tame that course the way a lot of people could. Spencer T. Olin.
Yeah.
I also always like driving into Spencer T. Olin because it's like you go into a park and there's this course that's unexpected on the back end of it.
You're right.
Taylorville has a great course that I used to love to shoot in the day right there along the lake. Just because everything, and part of it is you and I have an artistic sense. Yeah. Part of it is there's lake in the background on those shots.
Oh, yeah.
Which makes it really look cool. It's not my favorite course, but if you go to Three Pines over in Tolona, shooting the island green coming in is a very unique, different shot.
Because of the video aspect of it. And
it's coming over the water.
Yes.
Hole number 3 at Westview is one of those for me, especially now because there's variable ways to play it. Some of the big bombers will sit on the tee and bomb for the green. Yep. It's a par 4. I just like things that are unique in golf when I shoot it.
I like the backgrounds.
Okay.
Because if you go for me taking pictures, if you go to a tee box and you got a tree to the left and then you've got sky, well, that picture's not going to look as good.
Sure.
But if you go to this tee box and you got a row of trees behind the tee box,
very much so.
The background's so much better that it improves the photo and those type of things. I'm always looking for the background more than I am the player and the swing and that kind of stuff. I know I can get that. I love the sand trap shots. If you can set yourself up in the right spot, that when they hit out of the sand and you get the burst of sand and catch the ball in it, really, really cool. And I've got a couple of really cool ones over the years of that. I've also missed a lot.
Sure.
And I've got some that look awful because of that. That's the beauty of digital.
Sure.
Because I can take a whole lot of images and then I can just go delete. Well, you don't like any of those.
You touched on the aesthetic side of it. We talked about Pittsfield qualifying for state on the boys' side. I got to go to the Jacksonville Country Club, which is such a unique setting because unlike the Links, which is kind of out there by the freeway that you can see, which is a very nice municipal course, the Country Club is sort of this almost cloistered forest.
It's like tucked in the woods.
It is. And you drive back there and it's like if you didn't know to go there, you wouldn't know it was there. And they did such a nice, I know it's a tough course because they have a lot of mature trees. There are some very thin fairways, which doesn't always yield itself to great. But I like the setting there, and this is I think the third time now I've shot either a regional or a sectional at the Jacksonville Country Club. They do a great job hosting it.
Yeah.
And shout out to Barry Creviston and the good folks at Route Catholic who are the host for that event.
I believe Barry gave you a ride around the course today.
Barry was my chauffeur. Carts were hard to come by everywhere because, I mean, these sectionals are massive in terms of money makers for the clubs that host them by selling carts, and we don't want to get in the way of that, but it's also, as you well know, it's really hard to cover golf if you can't be mobile.
Well, and in all honesty, I'm not very mobile right now because of some health issues.
Sure.
And so, I would plant myself in a situation like that at one hole and be like, okay, this is what I can get today.
Well, and that's exactly
But the beauty of that is, especially in our area, people respect that and have helped, for the longest time, you and I both have been afforded carts when we go to places, and especially places like Westview.
Sure.
They hold carts for us.
They absolutely do, and we're always appreciative of
Yes,
that.
very much so.
You touched on that. Do you have a favorite or least favorite hole, or a hole that you think is the most challenging in the Tri-States? I know we've talked before about number 3 at Old Orchard.
Yes.
And it's almost a triple tiered par 5.
I can tell you my least favorite hole in Illinois golf.
Okay.
Deer Run, which I like the course.
Yeah.
But the horseshoe hole.
Is that 13? I think.
13.
Yeah.
Hate it.
Yeah, well, and I could never play that because either I had the length, but the slice that I could never clear the trees and cut it off the shortcut way.
Yep.
Or I could never figure out when I dumped it down to the bottom of the hill why I was losing strokes doing it that way as well. So that is a very difficult hole.
That one and the other one that aggravates me, and I forget that because they've changed the numbers there. So I think it's number 8 now at Arrowhead.
Okay.
The one closest to the clubhouse, the par 3 ends the 9
Yes.
but the one before that is literally an L.
Yes, the dog shape.
But it's not a dog leg right.
No, it's an L. It's a right
an L.
angle.
It's a 90 degree, and it's like, come on, why do you do a 90 degree?
I don't want to pick on Deer Run because there are a lot of holes on that course that I absolutely love, but I am not a fan of the 3rd hole because that is the hardest green, I think, in all of. You have a better chance of landing the ball, a well-hit shot on the hood of your car and keeping it there than you do from having it roll back. And look, I love the par 5s because they yield and my favorite thing is I will usually skip hole 3. There's back-to-back par 5s at Deer Run that every time I go, I think the last time I went, Olivia Scholes hit a 70-footer and drained a birdie there on that. So I always get great stuff on their par 5s. I'm just not a fan of that particular par 3 because it's such a challenge.
I believe it's 12. That's the par 3 at Deer Run.
Yeah.
Over the little lake.
Oh, that's nice hole.
I really like that
That's
hole.
a really
I really
nice
like
hole.
that hole. I really like. Well, they've changed the tee box on it, but at Arrowhead 17, where you used to have to go back and hit through the cut, and so you'd have to drive it through a window.
Yeah.
And I always thought that was a really cool tee shot.
There's a very drivable par 4 at Jackson Park in Palmyra.
Yeah.
I believe it's the 4th hole. It's the 4th hole.
It's 4th hole, yeah.
I really like shooting highlights there because everybody tries to bomb for that, and a lot of times they get there and give themselves chances to make really good scores. I think that's a really fun hole from our standpoint of accumulating cheap and easy highlights.
I think the other one at Mosswood Meadows over in Monroe City, I think it's number 8.
Yeah.
Where you have to, where you tee off through a gap in the woods.
Yeah.
And it's just a beautiful look.
Oh, I would agree. I really like the par 5s at Norwoods as well.
Yeah.
Particularly 18 because I don't know that it yields a lot of great shots because it's a very difficult long with the lake all the way up the right side on you. But number 1 has been such a godsend to us over the years for getting great highlights right off the day from people making birdies at number 1. So again, there's some great holes out there that we see a lot.
And there's some great courses and some we don't get to often enough.
Right.
I haven't been to Harry Masato up in Macomb recently, but there's some great holes on that course.
You talk about a tough course.
Oh, without a doubt.
That might be as difficult a course and layout as you have in the Tri-States.
And the course, you're headed over to Bloomington Normal this weekend for the boys golf state tournament. You may get over to Decatur as well. We're trying to figure out our schedules. As we record this, we're trying to figure out all our logistics right now. I'm a big fan of the Den at Fox Creek, where the Class 3A boys state tournament will be this weekend. Obviously, we don't have anybody there this year, but I watched Luke Guthrie win 2 state titles there.
Which has a lot of sentimental value, obviously.
Without a doubt, but I like that course a lot. I've never spent much time on Wybring.
I love Wybring.
And I know everybody said, I just haven't been there enough to really appreciate it.
So I'm not a huge Prairie Vista guy.
It's fine.
I've seen a lot of great history in this area happen there.
Yep.
I prefer of the 3 the Wybring course. What I loved about the Den, and this is like Bethpage Black, where there's actually holes so tough that there's a warning.
Yeah.
To me, that's so super cool.
Yes.
And what is it? The Bear Trap.
Bear Trap.
Yeah, the Bear Trap there, those 3 holes.
I think that's right.
And you and I were talking about it. I think that's the only person I've ever seen come out of that run of 3 holes in red numbers was Luke Guthrie.
He was pretty good.
Yeah, I think he was okay. But you think about all the years of golf we've watched in this area. And I wasn't here, obviously, for Wybring, DA himself.
Yes.
I'm not quite that old. Yeah.
You were born.
Yeah,
I was not quite
yes,
yet when he was playing here in high school.
But you think about Luke Guthrie and Cole Peevler and, Emily Powers and all the way forward from that point forward. The number of great golfers this area has produced.
Huge number.
So, I think we've been very blessed, and I'm somebody who doesn't play golf particularly well, but I love the sport. I just love to watch it. I love to film it. It's one of my favorite things to do. It's one of the most underrated parts of our job.
Back when I was playing a little more, I could have a decent round, decent for me, and then blow up the next round on the same course.
Yeah.
But you always had one shot or one hole where you
brings you back.
Oh, that felt good. And then you're like, oh, I want to do that again. So you come back and you could go shoot a 105 and be like, yeah, but I hit that one shot on this hole and I want to do that again.
Have you ever flirted with an ace?
Yes. Okay. At Jackson Park.
Okay.
Over in Palmyra, I was like 4 inches away.
I had one that was about that at hole number 11 at Westfield.
Yeah.
I put one right there, and I actually thought it was going in, and my heart stopped for a second, like it does.
Yep.
But, that's the closest I've ever gotten.
That's pretty good. Now, have you captured one on camera?
No. So this is, you asked this intentionally. This is the moment I capture a hole-in-one on camera, which I have not done in 32 years of shooting.
Yes.
30 here, 2 in Jefferson City.
Correct.
Then I can probably retire happy. But I have not seen it, and to this day it galls me to death that my good friend Ben Marth walked out his first year here at Pepsi Little People's and caught a hole-in-one at the par 3 course. Still counts.
Yeah.
Hole-in-one, he walked up. He said, it was ugly. It shouldn't matter. I don't care, Ben. I won an ace before I'm done.
I've never witnessed one being on the course and that kind of stuff, and I want to see one.
I heard one at City one year from Tim Schrag while I was facing the other way, and he made an ace at hole number 4, and that's the closest I'll probably ever get.
I've written a bunch of stories about guys making aces. I've just never witnessed one.
Do you think the ace is the hardest thing to accomplish in sports? It's certainly harder than a 300 game in bowling.
See, I don't even think it's the hardest thing to accomplish in golf.
Okay.
I think the
eagle?
the albatross might be the most difficult thing.
I saw one of those the first year I was here.
See, and again, you can probably I know there's scientific research and odds and all that stuff on it. An ace, you can get lucky.
Yeah, that's true.
It's one swing at a you have to have 2 really good swings to get an albatross.
You do?
You really do. Or if you're really lucky on a par 4 to get a hole-in-one, but that's an ace and and all that. But to me, that's an interesting question. The hardest thing in sports. My mind immediately goes to hitting a baseball.
Well, it is if you look at the statistics of it all. How hard is it to hit 400? Ask Ted Williams because none of the rest of us know, right?
Correct. Yes.
So I think based on like an individual skill set. Now, the records in baseball I guess they kind of suggest that as well. But like in modern baseball, winning 300 games has gone from, it used to be fairly commonplace with great pitchers of our time to now almost impossible. Yeah. You look at like where Justin Verlander is at this point in his career, desperately chasing it and probably never going to get near it.
Well, I think part of that comes back to, and since we're in the throes of the postseason in October, I think part of that comes back to how often do you see a pitcher go deep enough in a game to dictate his own fate? So many times it's, we're going to pull him after 5 innings, and then the bullpen blows up so he doesn't get a win. There's so much reliance on the bullpen now that I don't want to say it's
pitch count.
It is, but it's just baseball. I mean, look at the number of complete games guys threw back in the day.
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't mean back in the day like the 1920s. I mean just go back to the 60s and 70s.
Right. Pitching has become a different art.
It has. And it's handled completely different.
Look at how hard it is to win 20 games. Not a single 20-game winner in the majors this year during the regular season.
Which is just crazy.
What did Max Fried ended up with 19? I think he was the only one with 19. Yeah. Tarek Skubal can't win 20 games. And he's as good a pitcher as there exists on the planet right now. So I do agree that the world has become a different place, but I do think your point is hitting a baseball is probably the hardest thing in sports with any kind of consistency.
Consistency. That's it. You can get lucky one time. You can go up there and swing, or you can go up there and put the bat out here like this and just kind of adjust and hope.
Yeah.
But to consistently be good at it, to me, it's the hardest thing in sports.
Is there a baseball thing that you would like to see in, historically speaking, in your lifetime that you haven't seen? In terms of maybe an accomplishment? Triple Crowns were really rare for that long time. They were also really rare in horse racing, where we didn't see them for a long time.
No question. I don't know. I don't think there's anything specific in my. I mean, we've seen some pretty significant moments. We saw Roger Maris's record broken.
We did, which a lot of people never thought would happen.
We've seen 700 home runs by an individual. We've seen. I mean, I can't say it won't happen, but I doubt Nolan Ryan's record number of no-hitters is ever broken.
I would think that's probably pretty safe.
It's pretty safe. I think the 56-game hit streak is pretty safe.
I think we've seen historically that might be as hard as anything to break, with DiMaggio doing that.
So consistent, and you have to be so consistent to do that.
Do you remember? Were you old enough to remember when Pete Rose was?
Oh yeah.
What did he get to? 38? 44. Thank you. Yes, because I remember specifically number 38 because we were watching, and it was like, oh my God, he got 38. He's going to do it, and then 6 games later it was done.
But at 38, he still had 20 to go.
Which is insane if you think about it.
If you think about that. And, I don't know if there's one thing I haven't seen that I really want to see that. I would love to see a no-hitter in person.
Okay.
At the big league level.
I thought, so I think I told you, I'm a big George Foster guy. Started as a Red fan, became a Mets fan.
Right.
I saw Doc Gooden, I thought, in Candlestick Park one night, flirt with it. And I think he took one into the 7th.
Okay.
And it was just electric sitting down in the bullpen and watching him throw that curveball that close. I never saw Blyleven throw one, so I don't know what the most pristine curveball is in the history of the planet. Yeah. But that one was pretty good.
Yeah.
Or Carlton, but yes, that was pretty good.
Doc Gooden's pretty special.
Yeah.
When he was at his height, he may have been coked up, but he was good.
He most definitely was. He was as good a phenom as I've ever seen in person.
I would agree. Obviously, we're busy with a lot of local sports right now. Mm-hmm. Are you taking time to check out any of the postseason baseball stuff, or are you just kind of catching it as you go?
So I don't know if I told you this, but I love watching the Major League Baseball channel, especially in the mornings.
Okay.
I think, first of all, the programming, especially Mark DeRosa.
Yes,
I think
Mark's
he's so
very good.
good.
Yes, I would agree.
And I'm fascinated by the way he breaks down hitters.
Okay.
And just, he'll stand there with the bat and he'll emulate people's batting stance and break down what works in a hit and a good at bat and not.
It's impressive.
It's like science to me at that point. So yes, I do. I don't watch a lot of it live because you and I are going constantly.
Right.
But I make it a point to be engaged. And I don't have a baseball team that I live and die by right now. It'll be the Mets.
Yeah.
If Brandon's back next year.
Right.
But for me, I just enjoy watching random good baseball in small markets for some reason.
Yeah, I can see that.
I got into what Seattle did. I got into what Detroit did.
Yeah.
I like watching Houston when Houston was not so much with the sign stealing and everything. But there are guys that I watch and root for.
I still think Houston should go back to the bright unicolored uniforms.
Yeah, go back to the day, the J.R. Richard day.
The J.R. Richard day. Those were the best.
They were great uniforms.
Speaking of big league baseball, I will have stories this week. I was able to chat with Riley Martin, Dason Crows, and Griffin Kern, 3 Quincy University products. Obviously, Griffin Kern, also a Quincy Notre Dame graduate, who are all in professional baseball right now. 2 of them at the AAA level. Kern just started his career, drafted this past summer, got called up to Class A Stockton, the Stockton Ports.
Yes.
And finished his season there. He made 6 appearances with Stockton. Obviously, late season call up because of the draft and having to go to rookie camp and all that stuff. But I had a chance to chat with all of them. And, so we'll have stories this week on all 3 and what's could be ahead for each of them.
Yeah, don't take this for granted because he's going to make this sound blasé like this just came together. He's been working on this for weeks trying to put this together. And you think about this moment in time for Quincy University baseball.
Oh, it's huge.
It's something incredibly special and not unlike when, we had that first flashpoint moment with Josh Raby.
Yes.
This is 3 guys, which defies all statistical,
And 2 of them next year could be in the big leagues. Because you think about it, Riley Martin spent all of this season at AAA Iowa, has a legitimate shot to be added to the 40-man roster this offseason, which means he will go to Major League spring training with a shot to earn a spot in the Cubs. Now, if he doesn't go on the 40-man roster, there's the opportunity he could get picked up by somebody else in the Rule 5 draft. So his opportunities may change, but he may, he's on the cusp right now of really getting a shot at the big leagues. Dason Crows went from signing with the Giants in April, starting out at rookie ball just because everybody kind of goes, and he ended the season at AAA.
Which is an impressive
Sacramento.
Yes. Sacramento River Cats.
That's right.
Yes.
And he hit 348 in the month of September at Sacramento. And he goes into the offseason basically told, keep doing what you're doing. He's a professional hitter. I really believe if he gets an opportunity, he can hit big league pitching consistently. Now, what number that is, I don't know, average-wise.
There are other questions with Dason, like his fielding and the things that will factor in.
But he's working on his mobility. The mobility is the big thing. I think he's okay with the leather. He's good enough to play with the leather.
At the major league level?
With the leather, meaning if it's hit at him, he's going to get it. It's the mobility. And that's what they've told him to work on. I'm going to get into that in these stories on what they were told in their exit interviews at the end of the season.
That's so cool.
And again, Dason is going to Mexico to play winter baseball.
Makes sense.
He had already signed a contract before he got signed with the Giants, and they said, that's fine.
Okay.
And they worked that out, and they told him what to work on while he's there. And he said because he's had success, he doesn't have to go down there and prove himself. So he can go down there and kind of be free and go, hey, I want to try this with my hitting this week. And so what if he strikes out? So what if he doesn't get a hit?
Right.
He
doesn't have any bearing on what's next.
It has no bearing on what's next. And then
I don't want to give away the story, but Griff, that was my next question for you. How is he viewed? Does he know how he's viewed at this point?
I think he's liked. I think they see a future with him in the A's organization. I think the thing is, where does he fit? Okay. And he doesn't know exactly. Are they going to let him be a starter next year? Is he going to be a reliever? And he won't know that until next year. Okay. But he pitched out of the bullpen at Stockton and had good numbers.
Okay.
I think it was 6 appearances, 8 innings, 12 strikeouts, and a 1.13 ERA. So his numbers were good.
Yeah.
We know Riley Martin's situation. He's a reliever.
And we also know that there is now a great niche for middle relievers in particular. Anybody who's watching the postseason is seeing this.
Yes.
So I think that there will be value for Riley, but who knows, what that actually is.
So it's going to be fun. It was great talking to those guys, catching up with those guys. Dason was actually in Quincy. So we got the chance to sit down and chat. It was very brief because he was trying to get things up. He's recently gotten engaged.
Good for him.
So a lot of cool things going on in his life. And what a year it's been to go from a year ago, he was about ready to give up baseball and just get a job and go get married. And
those are the best stories.
And move on. And then he's, let's give it one more chance. And then the Giants sign him and it takes off. So it's really cool what he's gone through, and it was a great opportunity to catch up with all 3 of those guys.
And again, next week on all of this?
This week.
This week.
Yeah. I want to get those done because I know we got more stuff coming.
Right.
But I've had an opportunity to chat with all those. And again, people always ask me, what's your favorite sport to cover? And it varies season to season a lot of times. I mean, I love covering football. I love covering basketball. But there's something about being around a baseball team and getting to know the guys and telling their story over and over again and again, that goes back to my youth and how much I love baseball.
Sure.
And it's hard for me to pinpoint one sport over another for the most part when I get asked that question. But I would probably say covering a specific baseball team when you get ingrained with them and can tell their story, going out and covering a game and I think that goes for any sport or any school or any team. Yeah, it's fun to go cover a game.
No doubt.
But when you get to cover a team for an entire season and really get to know them and get ingrained with them,
well, it's like
it changes the difference.
It's like writing a page or writing a book.
Yeah.
and you get a chance to write a book when you're kind of in with them. So,
and
you've known these guys their entire Quincy University careers.
Oh,
and in Griff's case, his entire Quincy Notre Dame
correct.
career.
So
this has got to be fun stuff for you to tell.
And speaking of that, you can see I have a Cape Cod League hat on tonight.
Yes.
That was a gift from the Kern family.
Very cool.
When he pitched in the Cape Cod League. So,
very cool.
Again, a lot of cool connections come from all the things we do. And I'm excited to tell those stories this week.
Can't wait to see him.
Sir, you've got a busy week ahead of you.
I do, but I'm looking forward to it. Again,
Yes.
as I told you at the outset, this is one of my favorite weeks. I will get up at 5 o'clock on Friday morning, even with football to go, because I like being at State Golf.
And there's no way I can keep you home on a Friday and keep you calm until football kickoff.
I warned you when you hired me that I am a sociopath, that I am like a caged beast, and I have to do something, otherwise I go nuts. So this is invariably true of me for 30 years. You're not changing me. Nobody has since.
I'm not trying to change you.
Even Carol Sauer's ridicule never changed me.
The only person who gets assigned with changing you at all is your wife.
Well, she is a sainted woman, but that may not happen for her either.
I don't know how our wives put up with us.
I don't either.
So, safe travels this week.
We'll do. Again, looking forward to hearing about our 3 baseball Hawks.
Yep.
And their outlier success.
Yeah. So it'll be fun. Make sure you check out everything we've got at muddyriversports.com. We'll have a complete coverage of the state golf tournament this weekend. And I have no idea what we're going to talk about next week because it's a week away.
Well, it's probably better that way. We'll just see what springs upon us.
Yeah, it's like rolling the dice. What do we get tonight?
Who knows?
That's right. All right. For Chris Duerr, I'm Matt Schuckman. This has been another episode of the Mud Brothers Podcast, brought to you by CDS Office Technologies. See you next week.
Muddy River Sports. Our home, our sports.